Yeah, if you're just joining, my name is Kristen. I run Tutti Frutti's farm, and we are on hiatus from commercial production while I look for land. And all these videos are about how to grow your own food. And this is my parents' place, so helping them design their garden and how to grow their own food. And so that if you follow along, you can too grow your own food using organic and regenerative and permaculture practices. All right, let's go. Wow, look at all that they've gotten done. So my dad and my Uncle John did that farthest, I guess, wall, for lack of better, fencing, the back fencing over there, yesterday, he said. So that's amazing. I'm gonna ask how long that took them, so two people, you know, how long that took. And then this wire here that they put on. So this wire is for the rabbits. And now I did ask, I'm like, why did y'all not put it down in the trench, right? It's above the trench. Well, they're going to use some other fabric to go into the trench, like a L or like a U kind of, except the U doesn't go all the way up the other side. It just goes on the fence side down into the trench and then up the other side of the trench. So everything here is not quite fully developed, the winter rye. There is some hairy beds in here and some radish. It's very sparse. Okay, so after 1 year of this being under tarps, well, it was black tarps last year after it was tilled. Then I put cardboard down in this area and did not do the cover crop because I wanted a space to be able to grow in before we would be able to grow in the cover crop area, because I knew the cover crop would take a while for that to kill off and then for us to be able to plant in that area. But I just want you all to look. So the weeds, I mean, it's not completely void of weeds, right? But it's a hell of a lot better than it would be if we did not black tarp from June to October, because there was a flood in June, so we put those down after the water receded. And this is zone 5A, Minnesota, by the Cannon River, which that's what flooded last year. So now we're just gonna see. Okay, so this is from when they were doing the fencing yesterday. But for the cover crop, what we're looking for is we don't want the rye to go to seed. So it is, let's see if we can get that. It is definitely not. It's not even hard. So this seed is not hard. It's still pliable. It's still soft. We're going to see two different ways. We're going to crimp it going this way, and then over this side to the entrance it's going to be mowed. So we are building the soil because we have practicing regenerative growing practices, meaning that we're always having something active live in the soil. You don't want to leave the soil bare. Yes, this is bare right now. We will be planting in it soon. Some deer got in here. But we want to make this into a green mulch, so the beneficial bacteria will eat the dead after this is killed off, this cover crop. They will eat that dead green mulch. Won't be green anymore. They also love compost, so that's why you compost, building the beneficial bacteria health and the fungal matter, which again will bring more nutrients to your plants, because if you have more of those, the beneficial bacteria, their poop is what feeds your plants, which is going to build the soil health also and makes your plants healthy as well. Why? Because it all works together. And ooh, you can see a radish in here, just one radish. So there's some weeds in here, but not too bad. This cover crop did really well, actually. So we will see what happens versus the mower and the crimping. So this is just going to mulch, because that's what we want. We want all the greenery to stay, because, and this is a test, but we want all the green manure is what it's called, right? When it's fresh. The green manure, and when it's not made of animal, I was gonna say human feces, animal feces, right? But yeah, so this is the beneficial microbes. They're gonna come up, they're gonna eat the killed off cover crop, whether it's mowed or it's crimped. And then their poop will feed the plants. And the more microbes you have, the more your plants get fed. The more your plants get fed, the more nutrients they have. Let's walk down here and see what we got. All the rye coming up in the bed. I know we got to see what can be done about that. So Papa said he might have to go over this again. I just want to take a look. So we still, this is pretty high. This is going to be, we're going to cover this with black tarps for several weeks, at least 3 weeks. Where our goal is to plant by June 15th.
I got it up all the way.
It's too much for it, huh?
Well, right there it is.
It smells like a wheatgrass shot.
Smells sweet.
Wheatgrass. Wheatgrass shot.
My gloves are getting to get green.
Yeah, they are.
Is it hard to push it, Papa?
No, it's self-propelled, but I have it on the slowest speed there is.
Okay.
But it's like, I think I might have to push it.
Okay.
What do you mean push it?
And not use
the self-propeller.
And cows would love that.
They would love that.
The beneficial microbes will love that.
Happy microbes.
Green manure, it's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, so y'all, I just wanted to touch on a big piece of why I'm making these videos is because 10 years time, which seems like a long time from now, but it really goes by fast, right? Time goes by fast. That we're going to lose 40% of our farmers in the US, and either learn how to grow your own food now, support people that are growing food now, And younger folks, of course, that are starting out, because if you support them now, they'll be able to continue their business if they have more customers. And if you're not into growing your own food yourself. And why is that? Well, because 40% is a huge number, population of farmers that we're going to lose. And if 10 years from now that comes to fruition, that the 40% is the number and it's not more than that, because right now it is more than that that's going to retire, but we have some people coming in to replace the farmers. This is speculative, because usually from generation to generation, it's primarily 75% of the next generation takes over the previous generation in farming. But this coming up, about only 15% are speculated to take over the farm from the generation that is retiring. So instead of 75, it's going to be 15. And that's a huge difference. So we're really going to be struck by that. And I don't want people to have to, give up in a way, or succumb to only buying food that Big Corp rules, or Bill Gates rules, or China rules, that they don't care about the environment and the pollinators, the insects, the birds, the soil. It goes into our water, all these chemicals. And then of course into our bodies. So start supporting local farmers who use organic and regenerative practices. Learn how to grow your own food by watching these videos. Start with growing in pots. I started with growing in pots on my balcony at my apartment, and then went into community gardens, and then I went into farming. So, I was really into it. If it's not your thing, that's totally fine. But find someone around you that is, and support them. And so that in 10 years from now, we will still have a really great food supply. And hopefully, we will have an even healthier food supply, because we'll have more and more smaller scale farms popping up to be able to supply locally grown, organic and regenerative food for us, for other people, for the community. Or work with your neighbors. Maybe, your backyard, their backyard, someone has chickens, someone's growing tomatoes and zucchini and all that good stuff, right? So there are ways to combat, even buying farmland. Buy farmland and rent it out to people that want to farm if you don't want to farm. I'm like, if we want to combat the whole system, we have to buy the farmland before others that we don't want it in the hands of, that they end up buying it when all these farmers retire. So, long story short, this is a big reason why I wanted to do these videos, is because I wanted to share with other people how they could grow their own food. And if you're following along, thanks so much, and like and subscribe and all that, of course. But what are you doing? What are your thoughts on this topic? And what are other ways that you think we could come together and work together so that big ag and corporations, Bill Gates, China, anyone that is going to be, actually does not have our best interests, have the environment's best interests. They've shown that time and time again. So we don't want the farmland in their hands. So what do we do? Do you have any other ideas? Please share. And all right, thanks for watching. And until next time, hopefully we will have some things in the ground. We got to get this fence up, and the cover crop's got to be killed off. So it'll be black tarp for a while, but we'll come back and we'll show y'all what's up. Okay, y'all, so day 2. So we did the mowing of that area of the cover crop. Now I'm going to crimp this area, and Papa is cutting a 4x4, and then we're going to tie this rope on the 4x4, and then I'll crimp that. We're covering the whole area with black tarps. We got more black tarps. One of my favorite things is black tarps, I swear. Y'all gotta get them. These are from Lowe's. They're actually black painter's tarps. They're not silage tarps like a lot of farmers use because they were a lot cheaper. And I got them 4 years ago and they're still holding up, so really good. But we dragged the rest of the black tarps out. Hopefully we have enough because we're not utilizing all the black tarps that are in the flower bed area. You know, it's not covering a whole large area, but we still needed it to cover a large space. Lengthwise for the killing of the weeds that where the flowers are going to go next year. So anyways, we have a lot of black tarps, but we can't stretch those out where they're covering for the flower beds here that you can see. So hopefully we have enough. If not, I have a tarp that is what kind of tarp do you call that? A mesh tarp? I don't know what you call it, but it's blue. And anyways, it's pretty large. Usually you would cover you know, like hay or compost and protect it from the weather. Something like that. But if we have to use that, we will. And we're going to cover that and then get some fence up today. So anyways, that's what's up, and let's get to it. Alright, so this is 6 feet, tied a rope. Using that for crimping. This is my first time crimping cover crop. I usually mow it. So we'll see how this goes. And Papa is mowing what he did last night. So it's been mowed twice, that area with the cover crop. Alright. Now this area, we're going to crimp it. And you can definitely tell the difference of what was mowed before last night, how high it is, and then today just doing it again. And mulching that cover crop even more. So, yes, definitely recommend doing the mowing twice here.
It's all plugged up underneath there.
Yeah.
I guess that's all I'm doing.
Okay. Are we gonna do rabbit fence now? Why not?
Okay, well, this is good.
Yeah. On one of the ends.
Or both?
Yep.
You could do the fence, or you could figure out where the black tarps are gonna go.
For this section?
For the whole area with cover crop, the part you mowed and the part that's crimping right now.
How am I supposed to figure that when you were working on it?
Well, because you can undo it, so then you can. Is it doesn't look as good as the videos that I've watched. We are not using a T-post though. Everyone else I've seen in videos, and I'll link one below, of what is it, Chef's Farm, and I really like his practices. He's in Knoxville, Tennessee, and anyways, so I really liked his take on in his video. It was very informative, so I'll link that below. But wondering about if the weight isn't enough. T-posts would have more weight. We don't have any shorter T-posts than the ones that we're using for fencing right now, and so that one was just too big. We'll get shorter ones for trellising. We just don't have those right now, so that's why I'm using the 4x4, but it's not laying down as well as like the video, so we will see. And I'm doing it all, I'm following Chef, so he advised doing it all one way, not back and forth. You're just crimping the same way over and over, and then we'll put the black tarps down, as I say, for several weeks. Our goal is to unveil everything by June 15th. Today is May 26th. It's Memorial Day, and we will be having the black tarps on until June 15th, and then uncovering them, then put compost down, and then we will plant. So that is the goal, because we want to have enough time for the growing season. We're in 5A in Minnesota, and so a very short growing season. So we want to utilize that. So that's why June 15th, I don't want to go later than that for the tarps. And that's why we're not letting the cover crop go all the way to when we would like it to be. I would like it to be have grown a little bit more than where it's at. But as I say, we have to have the black tarps on for at least 3 weeks. It takes a long time to, to kill something off. So that's why, and yeah, that's my take so far. I'm used to killing cover crop by using a tractor. So on this shorter or smaller scale, I should say, instead of half an acre of cover crop, which still isn't very much at all, but using equipment, a tractor, this is much different, but I still think it's totally worth it if you want to build your soil. Make sure that you have living soil and a nutritious product at the end, because your soil is healthy, you're going to have a plant that's healthy, and you're going to have a more nutrients dense crop. So that's why we're doing it. Yeah.
Okay, well, 44 is right here. So 44, I guess.
44 feet?
Yep. And then we just need to do the width.
Yep.
We are concentrating on building the soil health, and that's why we're doing the cover crop regenerative ag, because if you don't have healthy soil, you won't have healthy plants, and you won't have a nutrient dense crop. And that's why a lot of hearing talk now is about how our crops are losing nutrient value, and that's because of tillage over and over and over and over, but also it's because of not doing cover crops, and also because of not adding organic matter such as compost or leaves. A lot of compost is going to be lawn waste and food waste, not necessarily manure, but manure too. But anyway, so we're building the soil health, and we are using regenerative ag. We're not using any chemicals to kill off the cover crop. No chemicals ever. We don't want that leaching into our soil. We don't want that harming the microorganisms in the soil or the fungal matter. We don't want that going into our water, and we don't want that harming any other living thing that is in the environment, earthworms, or birds, or our beneficial insects, including pollinators, right? So, and then ourselves from ingesting the end product. So we're building the soil health. We're going to have a healthier end product, more nutrient dense. And that's why you hear a lot of talk about nutrient dense crops. Right now, it means they're using practices like this. So ask around if you are buying from a local farmer what their regenerative practices are. Okay? And we're gonna cover this whole area with black tarps from now, May 26th till June 15th. Then we're gonna uncover them. Hopefully everything will be killed off by then. It's not very much time, but then putting compost down and making the beds. And you see, we've already made some beds here, and this was actually covered by cardboard instead of doing the cover crop because I wanted a space that we could get in right away because I knew the cover crop would wait a while. But we have to finish the fence first before we can plant out here because deer will get in here and then they'll eat everything. So strawberries over here, and then we got asparagus. We need to get that in the ground over there, and some other things in the greenhouse. So that's what's happening. I know it's a lot. Thanks for following along. You can do it too. You can. And just take note and just do one thing at a time. You know what I mean? So out here helping my parents, grateful that they are helping, and let's get those black tarps down. Okay, so I am pulling up the winter rye that's in these boxes here because, well, it was just cover crop the whole area, right? And then we put the boxes just on top because we still want to utilize the soil that we have. We just want to make this acidic for the blueberries, and we don't want the rest of the area to be acidic, right? So anyways, just wanted to show y'all this. I'm pulling this up, and you see how the soil it's sticking together? Well, that is an indication of healthy soil, that it's not all crumbly, not falling apart. And that's what you want, you know? And that's why the term living soil is, because it's living, it's all together. It's going to be healthy if it sticks together, right? Not like in a clayey way where you have clay that it's just a chunk and it's really hard to piece apart. But this here, how it's just all coming together. And why is it all sticking together? Again, it's because it's healthy. It's actually all basically almost one organism, right? So anyways, I just wanted to show y'all indication of healthy soil and what that looks like. And I am just laying this down. I'll show you. I am just picking it up and laying it down because I want that green manure. Even if it's in the bed here, it doesn't matter. We're still building the soil in this bed as well as out there where we just laid the tarps and we put the cover crop, you know, was down below and we put the tarps on. All right, so blueberries, we're gonna do acidify the soil, and then we're gonna plant next year. And why? Because I've read that you need to acidify your soil a year before you're actually going to do the planting. So that's what we're going to do. And I am not an expert in the category of perennials. I mainly have only functioned with annuals, and that's because I have been leasing land, farming, or growing on community gardens before that. And you could never do anything that's going to come back year after year because they didn't know if you're going to come back. My lease of the farm was year to year. It wasn't, you know, multiple years. So anyways, new for me to do the blueberries, and then we're going to do strawberries here, fig trees, elderberry, goji berry, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, yeah, and asparagus. I was like, there's something else. So anyways, new to me, but that's why we're going to follow that practice, because I have not done it before. And this is what I've read, is that you want to acidify the soil a year before. And I'll link that link down below. Is from, I think, Michigan State Extension. And so anyways, just wanted to share that, and the links down below if you want to read that. So yes, for this, the roots are definitely helping something hold together and pulling it up. You're going to have roots holding the soil together, but also you are going to have, if your soil stays together, it is an indication of healthy soil. So yes, the roots are helping, and also at the same time, it's an indication of healthy soil.
Up against. Okay, it's gonna stay.
A piece of metal.
Yeah. So you need staples?
I will, yeah.
How many?
About
6?
10.
10. Okay.
So, need to estimate how much I'm going to need.
How come you have so much extra on the other side?
Because I'm going to wrap it through the one that's running that way.
Or are you going to cut it so it goes around?
Yeah, I'm going to cut it so
Oh.
it goes through this one so there's no verticals. I'll cut the verticals out and just have the horizontals.
Yep.
And then those will wrap around, and then I can.
You
wrap
want
them
that
around
because you
there.
want that to go around the post too.
Yeah.
Not just one of them on one side. You want both of them on both sides to go around the post.
I'd rather wrap it, you know, and tie it.
Yeah.
Even though it's a little bit of a hassle to do this one
Yeah.
through the other one,
Sure.
but it'll make it stronger.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, some of these are kind of rusty, but
They'll still work.
I found the best I could.
Oh yeah. Well, you can tell the best when they have a little bit of silver on it.
All right.
So
They're not fully rusted, so they won't break in the center.
Yeah.
Because that's where they're gonna break.
Yep. This is really a tight fit. Yeah, there's weeds out there too.
How many more do you need?
Here and do it in between the middles or the verticals. Because it's easier.
And weave it in the horizontal.
Can somebody hold the fence right there?
Let me show you all this. This is the only thing that's left in this area that has not killed off yet. Is what? My nemesis, the quack grass. So he's digging because he wants the wire to go down lower than where it would with the even part of the ground here. So with digging lower, you're going to be able to have the wire go down, which it's lower on the other side. So that's what's happening now.
You know that top comes up?
Yeah.
Look at that baby.
Wow. It's
Huh?
like magic.
And a little twisted.
Pulling on one side more than the other.
I need to go down. I have to pull down on it to staple it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little higher than the other side.
Well, I got to pull down because the bottom is not even on the guide wire.
Guide wire.
Can you help pull down?
Is that good for it?
If I can hammer it there. Do it, not gonna do it as long as I'm a president of the United States. through there. That. What? What do I need this? Don't know. Okay, well, we got to do it all at the same time. What am I thinking? What was I thinking?